Hey everyone, Robert Nixon here with Anti-Social Rewind. I'm with Rod Semkiw of C&L Supply. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi.
This is like take 4 for us. We tried to do one a while ago, so we're going to make it work this time. So I'm going to ask him a couple questions about his business and stuff and see what he has to say. So for those watching that don't know, C&L has been a family-owned business for the last 31 years. What made you decide to buy the business from your dad?
Blackmail.
Blackmail.
No.
You ask your dad, he says he still owns it, I think, right?
No, it was a good opportunity to start my life in a career and raise a family and come back to Campbell River, because everybody tries to get out of Campbell River when they grow up here and go to the big cities of Victoria and Calgary and Vancouver, Toronto, wherever. And it's very common to want to come home after because it's quiet and you have Mount Washington and you have the forests. And it's just a nice place to raise a family. So it's a good opportunity to make some money and support family and actually be close to family too. So.
Yeah, it's funny when you grow up in a beautiful place like this, you don't really appreciate it until you leave.
You really don't. You really don't. You come in high school, you come up with all kinds of nasty names about living here, Dirty River or whatever.
And now you're probably too busy to enjoy it.
It's a busy life, but I am enjoying it, and the people that are in the community, and it's a pretty nice lifestyle. So
yeah, for sure. Even though you grew up around C&L Supply and eventually became an owner, did you have a job outside of C&L?
I've worked in a couple different places. So when I was going to the University of Victoria to get my Bachelor of Commerce, I worked for the university for a little while, for about half a year, doing this thing called Project Nova, which was essentially testing the software that people use to register for courses and ironing out all the wrinkles and bugs. So I was essentially a guinea pig. But so whenever anyone signs up for courses at UVic, I was testing that product.
And they're still using it?
I believe they're still
20
using
years
it.
later?
Yeah.
10 years later?
Well, not that old yet. But. And then other than that, after I graduated from UVic, I worked for an accounting firm called Lee & Sharp Chartered Accountants as a staff accountant for a little while. And that was good for a little bit. And then I'm the kind of person that can't sit still too long, and that job is a real desk job. So I ended up having to leave, and that's when I came home.
Awesome. Took over the family business. I think it's a good opportunity, too, to be able to take a business on that's already doing well, right? And starting a business from scratch is not easy. Running one isn't easy at all, but if you had to start it from scratch, it would have been hard for sure.
Oh, it certainly would be different, yes.
Yeah. How would you describe your business to someone who hasn't heard of it before?
Well, I mean, we serve the public. For sure. I like to call ourselves a mom and pa operation because we're local to Campbell River and to the surrounding communities, and we provide a service such as rentals, and as in skid steers to pressure washers to lawnmowers. We sell lawn and garden tools such as Still, Husqvarna, Exmark. We also sell safety apparel. We also have small engine mechanics, so we service product for the community as well.
Right, that's a different sort of aspect.
In this kind of a situation with the demographics that we have to do whatever we can to survive, right? So we're a very dynamic operation. Which
is good for sure. And I've used your products. I mean, landscape my own yard. It's like, where else do you go, right? You need the equipment to get her done. I wouldn't say it was fun. I'd say hire someone if you got to landscape your yard, but
there's a lot of good landscapers around too, right? I mean,
How would you say the business has changed in the? How would you say the business has changed in the last 5 years? Marketing, like in any way, but marketing wise, you guys use social media to market it? Do you have to? And how do you stay ahead of it all?
Well, I mean, the business has changed a lot since, 1965 even. I mean, you see it evolving from when my dad had it, and we often discuss this because he was involved when we had the 2 mills. And so he would often have to go on site and deal with the shutdowns when they were doing the maintenance.
Right.
And then as it's grown now, so the torch is in my hands now. A lot more volume. I often discuss this with him. It's a lot more volume. I mean, he doesn't even know how to, he doesn't have a cell phone really. He has one, but he doesn't use it all that often.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, I have Facebook, I have Messenger, I have WhatsApp, I have emails, I have text messages. It's a large volume.
And you got to answer them all.
Yeah, and it's a different modern system we're on.
Yeah.
Whereas like before, it was like a dial-up phone and communicating that way. and not even so much email back then. So it's
Yeah,
volume.
it's like
and then,
it's right now, right?
yeah, and then with regards to like social media, that's correct. I mean, there's different avenues of advertisement, and social media is very popular these days, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. In my opinion, social media is the best way to advertise, and there's other kinds of media that's a sort of a dying breed, which I don't really want to bring up. But.
Yeah, for sure. Bus bench is not. Back to the mill part. Were you managing or a part of it when the mill shut down here? And did that affect you guys at all?
I was more of so basically like with C&L, I've been part of it since we like to call it the broom pushing.
Yeah, for sure.
You start in the back and you're sweeping, and then you move into maintenance where you're changing oils and checking gases and cleaning filters and painting gear so that it looks fresh. And when the mill shut down, I was more of a truck driver. So I was not only servicing gear, but I was delivering it. I often spent a lot of time on site, right? And bringing product to certain contractors that were repairing the mill or working on maintenance in there. And so, yes, when it shut down, there was a domino effect. I mean, a lot of people's lives changed. They had to move out of town to go find more work. And so, I mean, we obviously directly rented less to the mill because it wasn't there anymore, but you also lose those sales and those rentals to the clientele that has left town.
Yeah, or lost your jobs and can't afford it. Or yeah, for sure. So you got to push through it, and obviously you did, though, right? Which is important.
And actually, we've got relations with people on site there now, which they're changing everything around out there. So
yeah, it's crazy. Actually, I have a client that's working out there, and I think they got expropriated or something out of the deep sea port in Vancouver, and they're working out of there now.
Yeah,
so it's good that there's opportunity, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me what is currently going on at C&L. Any promotions people should know about? Any staffing changes? New hires? Promotional staff? Maybe business changes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big changes. Well, okay, so we purchased 1100 Homewood, which is the Homewood Center.
Yeah.
And we have intentions of relocating there as of next year, 2020. So
awesome.
There's a lot of people that were concerned that we were shutting down business, which is false. We were just relocating. We've outgrown our spot. Parking lot is a little bit of a nightmare for some people getting in and out of there, and
with equipment for
sure. We want to grow. I want to have more gear. I want to have more clothing. I want C&L to be an unreal place where people remember and come in and want to keep coming to. So with the Homewood Center there, we're gonna have a lot more space. We're essentially double, and then we got the big field beside it, which is where all our excavators and boom lifts and forklifts are all going to rest.
Big storage yard. So that's across from like Andrew Sherritt, Bottle Depot there, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the biggest landmark that people remember is probably Perks Donuts, isn't it?
Yeah, right. For sure. Perks Donuts. That could be bad if it's right next door, though.
It's not going to be good for me. I'm going to probably
willpower.
Walk to work.
How many employees do you have?
Roughly 10 to 15. So I think we're about 12.
Yeah, that's quite a few. And do you have to manage them all? Do you have help?
So basically, I've changed the C&L a little bit. I have two managers. I have a sales manager and a service manager. It just helps me with the stress of dealing with everything. And human resources is definitely a challenging situation. So it's nice that I have guys that I can lean on for that, right? I mean, 12 employees, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it can be.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody's going different directions.
Mm-hmm. In different departments, and you got to manage them, right? What do you look for when you're hiring new employees?
Well, basically, I look for somebody that is going to be on time and is a record of actually showing up to work. It seems like these days it's difficult to find people that will even want to work. I mean, I guess there's not many people that are unemployed right now that are hungry enough to work, because we have in the past looked for other guys. Right now, we're kind of in the slower months, but definitely somebody that's I mean, you can look at somebody on paper and they may look good until you see them in person, and I like seeing somebody that has tempo.
If they show up the first day.
Yeah, but not just that. I like seeing somebody that has tempo.
Yeah,
somebody that's got, that's basically moving around and not kind of going through the motions.
Right, looking busy when they're not. Yeah. It's interesting, the last couple of years I've seen it. Like, I mean, I worked in Fort Mac and Fort St. John, and I remember when I first went to Fort St. John as apprentice heavy-duty mechanic. McDonald's and Tim Hortons, I can't remember what Tim Hortons had, but McDonald's, it was like, sign this year or two contract and we'll give you, what was it, a scholarship or something to university or college or something. And it was crazy. So you see that in places like Fort Mac, Fort St. John, And the last couple of years, it's sort of been like Campbell River, Vancouver Island. You read articles about shortages of employees and stuff, and it's interesting.
If you see somebody that comes in with a resume that has McDonald's on it, absolutely give them another interview at the very
Yeah,
least.
because they have good training, right?
I went to McHappy Days this year at McDonald's, which is connected to Ronald McDonald House.
Oh, yeah.
It was an amazing place for families and children that are sick. And I went to that fundraiser, and to be around that staff and see how hard they work and how smart they are and how many different things they have to do, it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. I would definitely give them a chance if someone came to me with that on their resume.
Interesting. What are your company? Well, you sort of talked about that, your company's goals, but is there anything else? Obviously, growth is one. New spot, new location.
Can always be better. I mean, I pride myself on the interpersonal relationships that we gain because we're not a massive company, and like I said, we're a mom and pop local operation. So, where we are going to compete is when people feel like they've had a good experience with the staff and want to continue that, right? I mean, we certainly feel like we have a very diverse inventory, but we don't have everything all the time, and sometimes maybe we're short, but
yeah, for sure,
we try to go out of our way to get something if we have to.
Yeah, if it makes sense. And
we know a lot of different outfits up and down the island, and we work very well with others. So
yeah, and what do you guys have some new stuff? Don't you have side-by-sides and stuff now? Or what was going on there?
We got the UTVs for a certain clientele.
Okay.
I was renting them, and like I said, like we try to take care of our clientele. So if we have to go get something, we will. I mean,
yeah.
And we still have a very good relationship with them, and now we rent them from time to time. Right, it's a little bit different than our other rentals because of the insurance situation, but
yeah, and demand isn't as high, I would think. Right?
Demand's not quite as high, but some people want them, whether it's for hunting or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So it's just again another asset. Right. So,
yeah, for sure. What do you think makes you unique as a business?
Unique. Again, it's probably going back to how dynamic we are. Yeah. So, for example, we were about to embark on the winter. Traditionally, the winter in Campbell River, it's difficult to make money because spring and summer is our hot time of the year. The goal is always to try and stay out of the red, right? So we started snow plowing many years ago, and we're still snow plowing. So we take care of a lot of different companies and a lot of different lots. We have roughly 50 clients that we plow.
Which is important, probably keep your guys going. You don't want to be laying them off for the winter, right?
Absolutely. I don't want to have that situation where you hire people and lay them off because that doesn't look good on you, and it's not nice to them either, right? They have to get Christmas presents for their family and everything as well. So we're always looking for ways to survive and be better.
Yeah, be year round, diversify. What do you attribute to the success of your business? Same thing, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it is that for sure. I mean, and the staff we have around us is very important.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we have a bad day. Everyone has a bad day. We've all been labeled as grumpy. I certainly have. I really try not to be, and I'm still working on that. But that's definitely the most important thing is our staff, and I feel like right now we're pretty crisp. We have a good group, very family oriented. We're very close to each other. We look out for each other. If somebody needs to take time off to be with the loved one, we fill in wherever we can. It's
nice.
It's pretty good, and it definitely dominoes down to the customers as well.
So we talked about this a little bit, but what are your responsibilities as the owner?
Yeah, my responsibility is to make sure that everybody can feed their family. So, if somebody's not paying their bills, that doesn't bode well for me. I have to go and figure out that why. And I always say that if someone's not paying their bills, they have to maintain a communication with me. Because if you're not paying your bill, that guy can't feed his family. Right? And everybody's looking out for everyone. And so I would say, that my biggest responsibility is taking care of everybody there, including their families. Right?
Yeah, because that's important. If they're not happy at home or having issues, they're not coming to work happy, right?
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, they're all important, and that's probably my number one.
Yeah, for sure. What's your favorite thing about being an owner?
What is my favorite thing?
That's easy. You can make your own hours. Your phone doesn't ring all the time.
Such a major misconception with being an owner.
Self-employed.
When I was younger, I used to think it's great. You can do whatever you want. You see all these guys that that are touring around or going to sporting events all the time, and it's. I mean, yes, you certainly can do that, but I don't think you'll be as successful. So, I mean, being an owner, I treat everybody as coworkers, not my staff. So,
Like,
I mean,
like an
obviously,
equal?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, obviously, if something's getting a little bit out of hand, I have to, crack down on that. But
Yeah.
that doesn't happen very often. But I would say that being an owner is just, and it's also because I'm born and raised in Campbell River. It's the relations that I have with the community. It's pretty nice.
Right.
Like I can go around and talk to a lot of people. When I came back from Ronald McDonald House with my wife and son after our situation there, I went to the gas pump to fuel up, and right away a customer came up to me and was just like, "How's your boy doing?" It was amazing. He's like, "You just get home, and that's the first person that said something to me." Right?
They care about you back, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Does your company help the community? Example, charity fundraisers?
Oh yeah, no, we like to do that kind of thing. I personally like to focus on children, kids, how I can support kids and fundraisers like that. But I mean, we've donated to Cameron's Cause. Because of the Ronald McDonald House and BC Children's Hospital, we donate a lot to that, which people will sometimes say is not local, but it kind of is, because there's a lot of
It helped you, right? So
it did, but there's
if
also,
it's sort of close to you too, that makes a difference, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of families though. Once I was there, I discovered a lot of people that have been connected by that in Campbell River, whether it's directly or indirectly. We also, I mean, we're part of that 100 Men Who Give a Damn.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, right.
And
100 Men Who Give a Damn.
I like that.
Check out the Facebook group.
That's right. It's a good thing.
I like it too. It's good. It's simple, and all the money goes right to a charity. There's no like, it's just simple.
It's a unique experience, really, and it's quarterly. I like it.
Yeah. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment, or have you reached your biggest accomplishment yet?
The correct answer is being a dad.
Is your wife watching? There's a few people watching.
Just probably, yes. And a good husband. My biggest accomplishment is probably yet to come.
Yeah.
That is definitely the best part of my life, is being a dad. And
I think that would be on a different level than a business one too, right?
Yeah, like, so that's a personal thing. From a business perspective, hard to say. I mean, growth. I like where the company's headed, and I appreciate where it was left or provided to me, and I think that's the best way I can answer that.
Awesome. What makes you passionate about what you do? I feel like we already touched on that too, but yeah.
It's because the answers are all kind of the same, because it's the people.
Yeah, people again.
It's the ups and the downs. I tell people I deal with the public. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, or it can be both.
Yeah,
sometimes we often joke during the summer when we're busiest and stressed out the most that we wear Kevlar vests because we're taking bullets all day long. But that's the gig, and then you get really good experiences too. I mean, you get people that come in and just super friendly, and you enjoy the communications with them, and it's definitely the public that make me passionate.
Yeah, it
is what makes us.
I think in service and sales, I mean, well, so you're sort of both, right? But I think that's like, that can be the hard part and the good part. It's sometimes like for me, the hardest things can be the best clients, and they're the most rewarding because they're so appreciative, right? When you have something that's crazy hard and it pulls through and they appreciate it, right? One she didn't have on here, but what about real estate? Do you own any real estate? Do you have any real estate investing or experience in it?
We just have our current land, right? I mean, we own
the C&L Supply.
So I mean, C&L is its own business, but we also, I mean, we have holding companies that own the land as well. So,
right.
I mean, as it currently exists, and everyone knows, is like, we're downtown Campbell River, 1451 Dogwood, right, and where all the car dealers are, really. And we have property on 1440 Willow, which is where we've always stored our big stuff, like our excavators, our boom lifts, our construction trailers, and that's the whole purpose of the purchase of the mall.
Less moving around, right? And keeping stuff in different places. So, do you have any advice for anyone who's considering becoming a business owner?
Balance.
Is there such thing?
No. Just balance. I mean, I was thinking about that as I was driving here, and I haven't had any lunch, so I ate a spoonful of peanut butter.
Oh no!
I was
maybe I'll take you for lunch after.
It's all good. But
you can take me then.
I got other meetings and stuff later today. But we should do lunch for sure. But balance is a hard one.
Balance,
and like I said, we can go back to the other questions where there's a misconception that it's just a gravy train, but it's not. You work extra hours. You work more hours as an owner.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes you neglect things that are important, such as a family vacation or something. Those things are important,
Yeah.
and you got to have, like I said, you got to have balance between working hard and overworking yourself. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to retire and be healthy, and if you're stressing yourself out, odds are it's not as good, right? So.
Yeah, for sure. I'm bad. I mean, I like to be busy, but you do need to take time away. And they say that like some of your biggest aha moments are when you actually take that time to shut your brain off, right? Because you have that time to recoup or whatever it is, right?
And turn your phone off once in a while.
Turn your phone
I
off.
have a hard time with that too.
It's so hard.
Yeah, and people are like, you got to just shut it off, but it's hard, right? Because you think you're neglecting somebody and upsetting somebody.
Yeah.
And I mean, how hard is it to go and just deal with it the next day or something, right? Like I'm talking like
For sure, yeah, if it's not an emergency. Right. Totally, I hear you. I charge my phone in my office now because I used to charge it beside my bed and it's just too like in my head, and I have a private mode, so I'll always answer it. But
oh yeah, I have to hide my phone. That time it's hidden.
So just some lighter sort of questions here. You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color would you be and why?
Viper red.
Viper, not orange?
Viper red.
Viper red. His personality's like orange, like outgoing, exuberant.
No, I was
thrill seeker, so I figure orange. Viper red is kind of like an orange thing, though.
Viper red. What I believe in, and I was going to say that in the last question, along with balance, is brand recognition. And if you look around, like at our big trucks, they're Viper red. And
are they? Okay.
And that's because people remember the color. I look at the vehicles that drive around town. There's a lot of nice vehicles in Camel River, but the ones that you remember are the Takeo pavings.
That's a good point.
And the bright colors, or they have a logo that's sideways or something. So if I was to be a crayon, I would be Viper red because people would remember it. It's very bright. It's very distinct.
Interesting. Royal LePage has got the red, right? Mm-hmm. Then you think even like Cat and all those deals, they're all big yellow machines, right? Mm-hmm. Branded. Branding's a fun one in real estate. Excuse me. What is your favorite 90s jam?
Anything Tupac.
There you go. That's a little different. Anything? How old are you again? I like Tupac too. A little bit old school. I like all music, but
I do too, really. And you know, I listen to a lot of music, and I listen to all music. But every different decade of my life was different. So in the 90s, I was listening to Tupac.
Yeah, he was huge back then.
And then as I got into after high school, I started to listen to country music, oddly enough.
Yeah.
And then I used to laugh at house music. Like I was like, I would never listen to David Guetta. And then one of my really good buddies brought me to a David Guetta experience in Vegas, and I was like, came back, I'm like, okay, now I can add house music to my little arsenal of
music. It's interesting. Your taste changed for sure a little bit.
I like all kinds of music.
My dad used to make fun of me. He's like, where did you get the country music from? Why do you listen to country music? I'm like, I don't know. It's just easy to listen to. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's interesting.
I often use music to dictate my moods. So when I'm driving to work, I try to listen to something that's pretty happy,
upbeat, get you going.
Yeah, like I try to avoid my Eminem songs because you don't need to show up kind of aggressive.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it affects your mood, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. I've been doing some meditations lately, so that's pretty calming music to try and actually relax with. Mm-hmm. What is the funniest thing that has happened to you recently?
How recent?
Whatever.
Well, okay, so
we're flexible. 6 months, a year.
I had a customer come
one day.
I got a couple stories. I mean, further down the road there, in the past, I went to Seattle with some buddies to watch the Seahawks play the Packers in the conference. So, what was that?
Oh no! Well, I was just glad the phone's off. I shouldn't even looked at it. So I could hear it.
And so I mean, a bunch of bunch of really good friends, and we went to Seattle to watch the game, and then the next day we decided we wanted to go to the store. And the conference is huge. Like it's packed. The whole Seattle's going crazy, right? This is playoff football.
Yeah.
To go to the Super Bowl. And next day we went down to go to the store and had a few cocktails or whatever the night before. So you kind of like, oh, I need to use the bathroom or whatever. So you go looking for the outhouse that's out there because my buddy had located it. And I'm like, okay, I'll see you guys in a little bit. So I ran over there and get in there. And next thing you know, the outhouse moves while I'm inside.
Oh no.
Everything's sloshing around in there and I have no voice. So I cannot, and I don't get embarrassed, so I can tell any story you want. This kind of stuff doesn't bother me. I can't yell at the guy. I don't know who's even moving the outhouse. And so I start pounding on the wall. So then I finally get out and open the door, and it's the honeypot guy to pick up the outhouse. So I could have literally been picked up, put on a truck, and shipped to the middle of nowhere.
He didn't check it.
But I look over, and there's my best friend almost on the ground laughing so hard, not even helping, just laughing at me. So that was
taken away on the truck.
That was a few years ago, but the most recent funny story that I've experienced, and I experienced a lot of interesting things, and I hope I don't offend this customer. I don't actually know his name, but
perfect. We'll leave the name out.
This customer came in a few weeks back, and he's taking apart his chainsaw. He needs some gear for it. And that's fine. We do that all the time, right? Hands-on work.
Yeah.
But he's taking it apart, and then he's trying to put it back together, and he's struggling. He's a fairly young lad. He's younger than me. And he looks up to me and he says, I feel like I need to tell you something. And I'm like, okay, what's up? He's like, about an hour ago, I ate a whole bunch of mushrooms. And I cannot figure out this chainsaw anymore.
Oh my God.
Like, best story of the day.
So did you put it back together for him?
Yeah, we helped him out. Yeah, it was a pretty good time.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What did you want to be when you grew up? When you were growing up?
Like every kid, I wanted to play in the NHL.
There you go. Did you play hockey when you were growing up?
Yeah. I also wanted to play third base for the Blue Jays.
Nice.
So originally it was first base for the Blue Jays, but as I got older, it became very apparent that first base is for the coach's son when he's not pitching.
Right.
So then I learned to play other positions.
Your dad wasn't a coach because he's too busy running C&L.
Yeah, my dad wasn't a coach. He did coach a little bit, and he learned a lot from the Blizzard program. That was in Courtney, but nice. Yeah, he wasn't coaching then. And then as I got older, I wanted to be a GM in the NHL, but that became very apparent that I wasn't going to be able to do that.
Make enough in C&L, maybe you can buy a team.
Yeah, wouldn't that be the dream?
Know. That's probably crazy.
Yeah, I was supposed to be at one point be the GM, and my buddy was going to be the coach.
Perfect. Is there anything I should have asked you but didn't about yourself or your company or business?
I don't know if there's anything that you can, that I could tell you about. I mean, I already touched base that I'm close to Ronald McDonald House, and other than that, I think you pretty well nailed it.
Perfect. Do you have anyone that you would recommend for an interview next? Can't remember who you said last time.
I really like the Sessions group. It's that new spin/bar.
Oh, right. I was trying to tell something. That's where they have the comedy, right?
They're right close to you here.
Yeah, they have comedy night there, don't they?
They may. I just know that they really focus on health, right? So they have spin classes, and then they have healthy local foods that they have a good menu, and they actually even serve the odd beverage too.
Right across from the park there at the old hot yoga. Yeah,
it's a really nice place. Good people. I grew up going to school with them. I mean, they're mostly Carey High people, but I was Timberline. But yeah, no, they're very good people. I've been there. I intend on doing a couple spin classes myself.
You've been there to eat, but not to spin class?
Been there to eat. The food's good. Beer's good. People are good.
We'll add them to the list and see what they have to say for sure.
Cody and Claire and Alita. And sorry if I've missed anyone else.
Those the owners or work there?
Yeah. Cool. Owners. So
awesome.
I'll give you their contacts when we get out of here.
Sounds good. Perfect. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Hopefully it was okay, not too boring. Come see us sometime.